They can keep playing politics, or they can work in a bipartisan way to secure the border. Sadly, this is not new. For years, they have refused to heed the president's request for action on much-needed funding for border security. For example, in the bill the president introduced in his first day in office more than 1,000 days ago, as you heard me call out House Republicans, because it's important to do. They're being disingenuous right now with where they are, where they've been on this issue, and we're going to call them out.
I ask because a lot of times these bipartisan talks that deal with like fiscal issues or whatever have a date certain, right? There's a government shutdown deadline or something else, right? A trigger. That's not the, so there's not like a date circled on
I
the
don't have a
calendar.
timeline for you, Jared. I don't. We want to get this done, obviously, as soon as possible. Let's not forget, I talked about 3 years, more than 3 years ago, more than 1,000 days ago, we put forth, the president, his very first piece of comprehensive legislation was to deal with immigration. That's what he wanted to do on the first day. So it's been 3 years. So obviously we want to get this done.
Karine, is the White House open to a separate bill that funds Israel and Ukraine and tabling the current supplemental package as some Senate Republicans are discussing?
Look, what we want, and to answer that question very straightforward, is like we want the national security supplemental to be passed.
And that's your preference, obviously, but is the White House open to a separate bill that just deals with Ukraine and Israel?
That's not the discussion we're having. That's not what we're looking for.
Just to clarify, when you just said that's not the discussion that we're having, do you mean that the White House has not been engaged with Senate leaders, Senate Republicans in particular, about that idea, which is being discussed right now?
So what we have focused on, sir, I mean, the answer is we're focused on getting the national security supplemental moved forward as is.
But has anyone at the White House had discussions
Look,
with members about that idea?
Look, I don't have any discussions to share with you about that. I can tell you what we're moving towards. We're moving towards on making sure that we get that national security supplemental moved.
Boeing CEO said today that the company caused the problems with the 737 MAX and needed to return focus to safety. Obviously, in addition to the administration's role on ensuring air safety, the government is one of Boeing's biggest customers. So are you guys confident that the leadership at Boeing can execute that pivot back to safety?
Look, what we want to make sure, and what FAA wants to make sure, and it is their top priority, that we make the safety, obviously, the safety of Americans as they fly across the country, obviously, and beyond, is safe. And that is what we want to be very, very clear about. Obviously, we're concerned. We want to put American safety, we put American safety first. But we're also going to call out House Republicans, and we're going to call out Speaker Johnson. And I think it's important for us to do that because it's like upside down world over there. You know, they've been flip-flopping over there. That's why we're going to call out what we're seeing with House Republicans. It is not in line. It is not in line with what they have been saying for years about what they wanted to